Here we are in the beginning of January 2024, and there is massive non-compliance to many gun laws across this country, particularly in Illinois, where there's a registration of firearms necessary and a lot of other products. Massive non-compliance. The real numbers are truly unknown, but it is an estimated somewhere around 1% have registered their firearms. Massive non-compliance is a beautiful thing, and I highly encourage you not to comply. Actually, I'd probably encourage you to somehow get out of that anti-constitutional state. But I know many of you, that's your home and that's what it is, and you did not comply. So how will the government ever know? I mean, as long as you don't use your gun in a crime or they don't raid your house, how would they know? Well, here's how they'll know. I think it's important to understand how they can find out, because they definitely can. And here's how that would work. There's only so many distributors that distribute guns and ammo and gun-related things to the state of Illinois. There's not thousands, probably less than 100. Most gun stores in Illinois only have a handful of distributors they can reach out to. So as well as the Illinois government makes the distributor, you have to go through a process. You can't just distribute guns into Illinois. You got to go through a state process. So the state knows who is distributing guns into the state of Illinois. All they have to do is go to those distributors, the ATF, and say, we need a list of all of the ARs, let's say, that you have sold over the last 10, 15, 20 years in the state of Illinois. And then there's only so many gun stores that they would have sold to. Then they go to that gun store with serial numbers, and exact numbers. And then they'll go to that gun store and say, we need you to do a reverse trace on these guns. And the gun store will have to do that. And they will then say, okay, here is this gun that we sold to that guy right there. And then they're going to go to you. This is a very common practice. Reverse traces are things that they do more efficiently than you might think. They do thousands of these every month, so it's not hard for them to do. It's not like they have to go through a new process and hire new people. They already know how to do it. They do it thousands of times a month, every single month. They're very efficient. They're very good at it. There's only so many distributors. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you into complying, because again, I started. Good, don't comply. What I'm saying is I think it's important that you, as you make these decisions, that you have the real information in your hands, because I think a lot of people have fed this belief that, well, unless I use this in a crime or they raid my home, they won't know. Now, I also am not aware of any effort of them doing this. I'm just simply making this video to say if they wanted to, they could. Now, how close together would the state of Illinois work with the ATF? That's a big question mark too. Probably not very well is my guess. ATF doesn't work well with many states. But in the end, if for some reason there was an organized effort, again, I'm not aware of any. I'd be a little bit shocked if there was an organized effort. But if they wanted to, they could definitely go to that gun store that you bought that gun from, and it would have your name, address, all that stuff. So there you go. Because I guess I want to add before I close out that a lot of times, like when we fill out a NICS background report, it just says long gun, handgun, or other kind of thing. So we think, oh, well, they don't know. But that's how they'll know. Yeah, that's how they'll know. They'll go to the distributors. The distributors will give them who the gun stores they sold them to, and then the gun stores will give them the names of the people they sold them to. And they can go back pretty darn far. So there you go. Again, I'm not aware of any efforts. I'm not trying to scare anybody into complying. I think it's important you have this information in your pocket as you make some decisions, because I haven't seen anybody else talking about this, so there you go. Any thoughts or insight? Definitely put that below. Would like to take a moment and say most people watch this channel, they are not subscribers to this channel. Please take a moment, hit that subscribe button. It greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get these messages out. These are important messages. That link is below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. So please don't ever hesitate to send that in.